Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. Today we're talking about the effects of oil on the crypto prices. We're talking about a recent interview from Bart Gallinghouse of Ripple. We're talking about the effects of the Ripple lawsuit against YouTube, and we're talking about some big whales doing some big shorts. More on that later in this video. Make sure you watch this video all the way till the end so you don't miss out on any important crypto news. And also guys, I really appreciate all the support you guys have been throwing at me. All the likes, all the subs, all the comments. I appreciate it a ton. I checked through everything and I really appreciate it. But for all you that don't know, I just really appreciate all the likes that you guys are pressing. It helps me out and it motivates me a ton. What the oil crash means for crypto. The experts weigh in. Monday's oil flash crashed wreaked havoc in traditional markets. But the question is that good for crypto? Well, there's been a couple of different opinions that have been going around, and Preston Fisher says oil manufacturers could sure use a difficulty adjustment right now. If that comment makes no sense, you might want to read up on Bitcoin. Because of course, when I guess all the gathering goes in such a strange manner, adjusting a difficulty would maybe do wonders, at least in crypto. With oil, it's not that easy of a possibility, right? So there's a couple of things that they discuss in this article. Bitcoiner and Real Visions' macro investor Raoul Paul speculated that drop in oil prices could affect other commodities and the US dollar. Analyst and VC Nick Carter points to potential risks of sovereign defaults and how stablecoins have boomed up, and many other takes from experts in Bitcoin and crypto. Well, what I found interesting was right here. Bull Bitcoins and Canada's foremost toxic Bitcoin maximalist Francis Pouliot took aim at his home country about how it could have profited from the past oil prices with Bitcoin. Canada's Western Select Oil, WCS, was trading at minus $30 at the time of his tweet, which is actually quite insane. I don't think I've ever seen it go that heavy. But he says, finally, there's no longer any price difference between WTI and Canadian WCS crude oil. Both are trading equally at minus $30 per barrel. Honestly, I understand the theory, but I don't even know how that works from a trading or logistical point of view. Elmao clown world. And I actually don't understand it completely, how it ever got to a point this far. I mean, I actually would have expected it to turn around quite heavily at one of the points. But Pompliano also makes a valid point. If oil prices is negative, does that mean they can stop, some of the bigger discussions they're having right now? And hopefully you guys read it without me having to say it, because that's a good question he's asked. Francis says, selling Western Select crude for Bitcoin 5 years ago and buying it back today would have increased crude oil inventory by 125,000%. Imagine if an oil refinery had done this. And of course, that's easy to say in theory. In practice, it's a lot more difficult though. Raoul Paul says, I know it's not a popular view, but I don't see any way that the dollar doesn't explode higher and US rates don't go negative. I think they go hand in hand and it's coming soon. Yes, and I'm still bullish Bitcoin and gold, also not mutually exclusive. Oil is deflationary, soft commodities look like they're going to follow suit, and the US farmer is sadly going to be driven into bankruptcy just like the shale patch. Ooh, that's a pretty heavy statement to make, right? Do you think so myself? It's a pretty heavy statement to make. And if we scroll through a little bit more, you'll see different opinions on, I guess, crypto as a whole, a couple of other cool things. It's a pretty elaborate article on a lot of different subjects. And one of the things that, again, excited me was here from Ryan Selkis, who said, oil is negative, and you still think we won't have major currency failures? Buy Bitcoin, which is actually a good point. And personally, to kind of conclude the whole story about it all is, reading through all of this, it made me so much more bullish on crypto in general. Here's a couple of tweets of some quote-unquote crypto Twitter experts. Of course, These are just a couple of, I guess, depending on who, but just some people on Twitter. Trey Stewart says, so as Raul GMI continues to nail every call, oil being the latest, when do people start front running this or his Bitcoin 50 to 100 times prediction? Cameron Winklevoss says, after today, oil can no longer be considered a reliable store of value. Your next best options are the US dollar, gold scarce, or Bitcoin fixed. Negative price of oil reflects a lack of demand coupled with a lack of physical storage and a complicated delivery process. Yet another advantage of virtual commodities like Bitcoin, Bitcoin mining arb, purchase oil to power miners, proof of storage is the new work function for the oil industry. Bitcoin priced in oil follows stock to flow perfectly. 1 Bitcoin is about 600 barrels of oil, and you'll just see more and more of this going on. And basically, what it's looking like right now is that this whole oil situation actually has quite a bullish effect on the people. At least that's what I've been seeing from my personal research, and definitely within this article, I've been seeing the same thing. Actually, I want to move forward into the here. There's a thing going around right now, which is what is it called now? An interview from Brad Garlinghouse. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse talks to Emily Chang TV about the firm's lawsuit against YouTube for failing to deal with imposter scams during and before the during this period. And it's a cool little 2-minute clip. I think I have it open a couple of times already just because it was actually pretty amazing. And of course I like to get it looking into that stuff. But since I'm on the laptop right now and I can't show you guys or let you guys listen to the clip, I recommend you guys to just quickly check it out over on Twitter. My handle on there is @JustDBC. Make sure you check it out. Third part of the video is a little bit of a thought that I want to share with y'all, and that is that I really don't know what's going to be happening to YouTube now that this lawsuit has gone live, because in theory it's going to be almost impossible for YouTube to really narrow down exactly what is a scam and what is just a good video in terms of, I guess, talking about a crypto, right? It's really, really difficult. And I believe one of the only ways they can do it is just to filter the description for like airdrop and then manually review everything. But as we all know, manually reviewing is such a horrible process over at YouTube, and it takes such a long time that, at least not always, but it can take a lot of time, which might make everything delayed, which might make news very, very, I guess, scarce in the crypto space again. And it might really result in quite a lot of problems as well. And also, one of the points you should take into consideration is that it's not only the video they have to watch out for, most of the time it's just the descriptions, with the video being completely normal. And the difficult part then is that the video itself is completely fine, and they will just have to filter on description, and thus they will just have to crack down all the people placing links even more, and just really, really have a better algorithm, which is not an easy thing to do. You know, it's not an easy bet. It's not an easy thing to fix for them. And you got to cut YouTube some slack there as well. It's really freaking difficult to make automated systems for so many videos every day that do their job really well. Now, I think one of the things they can, I guess, improve is just hire more people to, I guess, manually review things. Because I've also seen a lot of my videos, I think like I've deleted or privated like 1,000 videos or so maybe, all crypto related, just because my channel was about to get deleted because of all the spam bots that were reporting them. But basically the reports were most likely because of some stupid stuff. I don't really know. But when I appealed, like almost all of them got appealed in like to a positive extent, but some of them did not, whereas I could not understand why. And the people I spoke to over at YouTube also didn't really give a good answer. But then I watched the video back, I watched the links, and there's nothing that's wrong. And it just says rejected, even though all the other videos, like let's say out of 30, you know, almost all of them got accepted, like the appeal, and then one didn't. And I'm like, I'm watching it. It's just me talking about a tweet, for example, not even talking about crypto specifically. And then that gets I'm like, what are these guys doing? What are they filtering for? Or is it not automatic? Is it not manual? I mean, is it automatic? I really don't know. Maybe they're trying to, do everything so automated, so cheap as possible that there's a lot of flaws and they'll just have to fix it with manpower because computers can't do everything. I don't know, but that's some I'm kind of worried for. Another point is this one right here. Crypto whale shorting Bitcoin unless massive market shift occurs. Crypto whale Joe 007 is shorting Bitcoin and expects a bearish downturn in the short term. The trader says a 50% move up combined with increased trading volume would invalidate his position. I don't actually know if he's a whale or, what the exact info is on all of this. But Joe, who made a reported $20 million in profits during February and March's market volatility, expects the price for Bitcoin to enter bearish territory in the short term. According to tweets published April 19th and data pulled from the Bitfinex's leaderboards, Joe 007 is shorting Bitcoin with an average short entry at around $6,800. Steve North, CEO of BitMEX Red Button, says, average short entry around 6,800. Just how much does one risk into this short to be this much down on a 5% price swing? Probably not expecting price to go above $8,000. Bitcoin drops from around here. It's going to be ugly. Rhetorical question, by the way, for Bitcoin. And yeah, I guess Joe's doing some big shorting. I've seen some people comment that he's verified and that they know he's got a lot of money and he's basically a whale. But I haven't personally checked out the Bitfinex leaderboards and whatnot, so I'm just going to take you guys' word for it. If there's anything I need to know, just comment it down below. I check them all out. And Mito asked, would a 50% move up invalidate your short, or would you add more to it? Joe says 50% organic move up in Bitcoin with decent volume would definitely invalidate the bearish case. 50% shitcoin pump or yet another leverage driven run up on razor thin volume like January or February, not so much. And Joe then again said, it is going to be the biggest economic shock of our generation. It will unfold in waves and over time, giving false hopes and then crushing them. The focus of the crisis will be shifting through different areas. Attempts to alleviate and solve one crisis will lead to more of a mess. Valid point. We really don't know what we should expect from the upcoming weeks to months here, and it's going to be a difficult path. Bitcoin money flow and futures volume signals intense volatility is imminent. Bitcoin's future market is seeing surging aggregated open interest as the crypto finds itself caught within a bout of lackluster trading. This coincides with the crypto seeing a decline in money flow, and the confluence of these factors suggests that Bitcoin is gearing up for a big movement. Well, yeah, that's actually enough said for the situation. Bitcoin money flow dropping like a pig from a roof. Next day is going to be interesting, he said. And also, you can see a little bit of the chart here from Skew. I actually like these charts over at Skew. They often offer some I don't see on too many other websites. And, no plug, but still, I think it's a pretty cool thing that they're showing us. I like it quite a lot. A couple of tweets I think I have open still. Yeah, one I want to get into more later is from Han Solo, who says Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis get, on the little bit of the sip and live stream about XRP. I want to get into that a little bit more later because I actually have not read up fully on the situation. Just know that Ashton Kutcher donated like 4 million XRP or so to like the Ellen Foundation or something like that. A lot of money at least, a couple of years ago already. And maybe these two, I'm not too good on that. Maybe these two have something. At least they're talking about XRP together now. I'm assuming they're together then. And I think that's pretty exciting if they're fully talking about it. But I'll check that out later and I'll post it in the next video if we can get to it. And two other things is Ripple partner Neum Open Money expands into China in latest partnership with GeoSwift Limited. The new partnership deal opens a lot of avenues for Ripple to leverage the growing Chinese remittance market, whose remittances stood roughly over $67 billion. And last but not least, the US dollar ate every other fiat currency and then began to eat itself. In this phase of eating itself in this dollar super spike, is going to break the whole system. I think that we're going to have to move to something new. A little bit of a quote to keep you guys warm. I think that's also good to sometimes add some quotes to these videos to maybe motivate you or keep you on the right path or so. I don't know. Guys, make sure you press the like button if you learned something new or enjoyed it. I try to put my best effort every time into making these videos. A ton of time goes into them as I try to read a frick ton of articles every day and then give you guys the best info that I possibly can. And all you have to do is just press the like button and subscribe if you're enjoying it. I appreciate it. It means the world to me, guys. It really does. And I'll see you guys in another one. Take care and have a very, very nice